You can add Shakira to the list of artists selling their entire music catalogs. And have you ever felt like your entire music career is in chaos? We're going to help you out with that. Stick around. We have a lot to talk about. Hello and welcome to Music Industry City's Monday Kickoff, where we offer up important tips for a successful career and help you get motivated for the week ahead. I'm Peter Schwing, and joining me today, my co-hosts Ayesha, Damo, and the Duke. If there's something you'd like to chime in about, join us in the chat or leave a comment below. We're also going to do this thing where we stick around after the show, we roll the credits, and then you can come and hang out, and we just magically appear. So if you're in the chat and you want to ask some questions of the hosts, we'd love to hear from it. So let's just get right into it. So we're going to just check in with Ayesha and the Duke. What is up, everybody? How you doing? Happy Monday.
Hey. Yes. Martin Luther King Day, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Very important.
And, absolutely. It's a time. This week is a time of change. And today we're talking about change. We're talking about big upheavals that come with change. And it's all good. It's all good stuff.
Right on. Dave, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Rolling with the punches, surfing life itself every day.
I was going to say surfing. I mean, you'd have to have a really thick wetsuit to surf in January out here in New York. But I like snowboarding, yes, and also like roller coasters. And MLK Day, Martin Luther King Day. I sent in our email this morning that went out to everybody in musicindustrycity.com. There was just somebody has summed it up, like why it's important to celebrate Martin Luther King Day and why why it is important. And the article is just right to the point. That's what I really liked about it. I was like, here's the main points of why everyone really needs to pay attention to Martin Luther King Day. And especially in this, like what we've seen in the beginning of this year is, he was always about it's non-violence. And that, I don't think we can stress enough going into this week, that hopefully we do see a non-violent week ahead and everything goes smoothly with this transition. So
absolutely.
I know you have people. Dave, what give us a preview of what you're going to be talking about, because we're going to kick off with Ayesha, but what are we going to expect from you later on?
Talking about Shakira selling her rights. Bob Dylan sold his rights. Everybody's selling their rights. There's a new PlayStation 5, so everybody's selling their PlayStation 4s.
It's the new game on PlayStation, on PS5. Sell your rights. All right. Cool. All right. So Ayesha, let's go over. We were talking about accepting the upheaval that comes with change, and our thing is always like. And chaos and everything that's like going on in the world and going on with your career. It's like when we change things, our brain doesn't like change. Okay, it likes things to be like same, nice and easy. Don't challenge me to anything because I will get in your head, because I am in your head, and I will tell you 20 reasons why you shouldn't do this. And if you do try to go against that, it's kind of like chaos in a sense.
Absolutely. And, this is the week. This is the big week in the world, for the United States, but for the world. And, I'm thinking, and I know change gonna come. It's like Jennifer Hudson singing at the DNC last year. It's coming to fruition this week. It's Joe Biden. It's Kamala Harris taking office. And there's a lot of upheaval going on. And like you said before, Martin Luther King Day, we need to recognize that we want to have peaceful change. We want to make change, and we don't want it to be violent. But sometimes there is upheaval. And this isn't just true for the changes in the world. It's true for the changes we're making for ourselves as artists. So whenever you're trying to make a shift, whether it be in your music itself, an artistic shift, or maybe it's with your skill set, learning a new instrument, or if it's just in your business stuff, that you're going to make a shift in how you do your outreach, how you reach gateholders, how, you go for your social media. All of that change isn't something that just happens instantly. It comes with some work. It comes with some wrong turns and mistakes. It comes with things that don't work out. And sometimes it's a really hot mess. And I'm just wanting to remind everyone else to like not beat themselves up for it, to even expect that there's going to be this kind of discomfort anytime we choose to make a change. And we should choose to make a change, even when our minds are saying no, even when our like primal instincts are saying no, like safety, do what you always do, don't make a shift. We don't need that safety all the time. In fact, we only grow if we push against it and advance so that we can become even more than we were the day before. So, you know, what comes with this change is sometimes resistance. Sometimes we have resistance to doing the work that is required of us to make that leap. And sometimes it's just like the growing pains of trying new things out. We have to recognize this as part of the process. And I know for me, I have a really easy time of just imagining that I'm going to make a shift. It's going to happen by osmosis, that it's going to be instant, but it never works out that way. And I often forget to allow time and space for that learning curve that's going to take place. For example, this past week, I finally got a new phone, and it was crazy because I went over to T-Mobile to hook it up, and they're like, "Oh, welcome back." And I was like, "Oh, you mean back to civilization?" And they were kind of like, "Yeah." So I got a new phone, but that should be easy, right? It should be like no big deal. It should be like a good thing. Except, you know, Apple makes it really hard to transfer all those photos from the old phone to an external hard drive. So I had to sit and say to myself, okay, this is going to be a little process. I'm going to take some time to do this, figure out how to make it work the way I want it to work and how to make it happen. And I just have to take that time. I might make a mistake. That's all right. I mean, that's just a little example, but we have this all the time in our creative work. And for whatever it is that you're trying new, do yourself a favor and start out by really just saying to yourself, even if you have to say it out loud, okay, this is going to take some time. This is going to take some effort. And I might make a bunch of mistakes, and that's okay. That's all part of the process. So many times we forget that anyone out there who is an expert at what they do made a bunch of mistakes along the way. They bought the wrong part and it wasn't compatible with their system, or they tried a product that was meant to clean a vintage dress that ended up ruining the vintage dress, or they took a few wrong turns on the road and finally found the right road, got there a little late, but they got there. All of that is okay. The mistakes are okay, and the time they took is okay. In the process of change, not everything will be clean or perfectly efficient. So in this type of time of change in the world or in your life, I want to invite you to just take a breath. Let yourself off the hook for taking the wrong turn. Even if it's, you know, all taking way longer than you hoped it would, even if it's a relationship that you're like, whoa, that was a wrong turn, that's okay. That's part of the process of finding out who you are as an artist and as a human being on the planet. So don't let it all discourage you. Just because, you know, one thing went wrong doesn't mean it's all going to go wrong. That's part of taking the next step. And if you want to get from point A to point B, there are plenty of wrong turns along the way. Make them. Enjoy them. Enjoy the detour, because you will get there. And that's what I got for today.
Right on. Did you just break out a Jennifer Hudson song at the beginning of that?
Sam Cooke song, but referencing Jennifer Hudson singing it so beautifully at the DNC last year. So beautifully.
So that leads me to like what I'm looking forward to out of everything with the inauguration this week. The New Radicals are reuniting after 22 years for one song. You Get What You Give, which is kind of pretty apropos for the times. If I may give you a suggestion on your iPhone, 99 cents a month, 50 gigabytes in the cloud through Apple. Syncs, you get a new phone, go, that's me, and it goes, whoop. It all rains into your phone, and you're all good.
I'm OG. I'm that OG, and I don't like the cloud. I don't want it in the cloud. I want it on an external hard drive with rectangular shaped. I want it in a rectangle, and that's how I want it.
and to plug things in, and yeah. So I just want to give a quick shout out. I see like Daddy's over in one of the chats. Riku out from Finland's over in another chat, and DJ P Funk's over there. I got like all these chats are going on, everything. So everybody,
Well,
if you
hey,
want to,
people.
yeah. So if anybody wants to stick around after we wrap, we're all just going to kind of have a casual conversation. So thanks for that, Ayesha. We're gonna circle back. So let me get over to Dave here. I mean, Dave. There you are, Dave. What's the good word?
Bird. Bird is the word.
The bird is the word. Bird is the word. I don't have a segue into talking about Shakira from the Bird, but we can talk about once again that another musician, very popular musician, is selling their catalog, and this was a big rush at the end of the year last year, and also now we've had a few more, and part of it is like this big time for acquisition because on the political side of things, there's the fear that Biden's capital gains tax is going to have an effect on that, so they want to make all these transactions before all that. But on the other side is a whole different story of the artistic creativity and how you value your catalog and what you want to do with it. So I know this was a great article when they were talking about they sold a catalog of 145 songs to the Hypnosis Song Fund, which is, they're just gobbling up everything. So, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one.
So I think that people sell their assets when they're no longer valued at what they were previously. So if you have a house and your house, you say you bought it for $1 million and somebody's going to give you $2 million for it and you don't feel that it's worth it, you sell it. If you have a house that you bought for $1 million, but it's depreciating every day and somebody's going to give you $500,000 for it, you sell it. So the only reason I ever hold on to an asset is if it's appreciating in value or if it has some type of value to you on a monetary basis for now and the future. If you're going to invest in it, hold on to it. So I think that everybody's selling their music because it's not worth anything, at least not what it used to be. And not to say it's not worth anything, but it's not worth what it once was. It's like a house and the porch is falling apart and it's just not what it was. And we live in the digital age now. We live in a content-based age. So if Shakira has a song A out of 150 songs, right? Let's say it's song number 75, whatever song it is. I'm sure it was a really great song and it's wonderful. And maybe that song could be synced for the next 10 years and it'll make X amount of dollars. That's great. But Shakira will be better to start making Shakira in the kitchen and start cooking her favorite, pancakes, because that piece of content is worth something right now. And there's no middle person to that piece of content. So you can sit and write the song and you can have your agents, connect to the music supervisor that everybody's going to take a cut. You know what I mean? But if you show how your grandma's pancakes were so awesome and why it's, not bananas, you put in plantains on it, boom, like 1 million views on YouTube is $3,000. So do 10 million on that, make 30 grand and sit down and eat. You got 3 meals a day. There's 365 days in the year. Why don't you make 1,000 pieces of content and don't even worry about writing a song? You know what I mean? Like, don't worry about your old songs. You could sell that. You know what I mean? But nobody wants to buy your video of your grandmother's pancake recipe, right? That's just the content for now. So I think the reason why people are selling their things is because it doesn't have value now moving into the future. Like your grandmother's pancakes are really relevant for TikTok tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? But maybe song number 75 is going to sit there and get dusty for the next 5 years until that right movie where Russell Crowe comes out, and then everybody's going to take a piece of your song. So that's how I feel about that. And then the other analogy is PlayStation 5 is coming out. It's already out. So if you have a PlayStation 4, time is ticking on that. Yes, they might still come out with games for the PlayStation 4, but it's just a matter of time before that PlayStation 4 is a PlayStation 3 and it becomes a PlayStation 1 and it becomes an ashtray. So it's like, get rid of your PlayStation 4 now. The writing is on the wall. If you have music and you have a nice catalog, sell your catalog now. Start writing down your grandmother's recipes. Press record on your iPhone. Press upload on your YouTube. Open up your Photoshop. Make a nice thumbnail and just watch the dollars come in, because people are interested in you. They're not interested in song number 75 like they used to be.
Well, besides the fact now I'm craving pancakes, That was right on spot. On spot. The thing is that a lot of times people get caught up and it has to do, entrepreneurs have this. It's like, oh, I started this business and I don't want to sell it because it was my baby. I look at my music, it's like, these are my creations, my babies. And then if you look from a business standpoint, like you said, the music will devalue over time. Now, whether it's going to be a nice long sunset slope or is it going to be off the cliff are two different things, and that also depends on the musician. So if she was, I don't know the numbers, but let's say she got 500 million for that, and you can take that $500 million and invest it into something else, and that is more likely guaranteed to increase as opposed to the value of your catalog decreasing. So it becomes that attachment where musicians like, well, I don't want to give this up because, it's like, what will people think? Or, it's like, these are my babies and I don't want to give them up. Sometimes you need to let the babies, you need to open up the barn doors and let them run free and do their own, and you can go on and do more things. So yeah, again, like anything like we do with content, you're saying, it's like right now, it's a different era than it was 20 years ago when that's all you had was your catalog.
Right. And then, but the other side is you do have to be wary, because when you do show everybody your grandmother's pancake recipe, it's no longer your grandmother's pancake recipe. Now it's everybody's pancake recipe.
Very true. All right, let me bring up, let's bring Ayesha back up here and let's like tie everything together. Ayesha, I can see you back in the green room. I know, and you're still smiling. So, what did you think?
My thoughts about this are twofold. On the one hand, if you follow out what the Duke is saying, all right, so you sell your catalog, and in a way, that's kind of promotion for your pancake video, because the new owners of your catalog are probably going to try to push it, which is an advertisement for you and your pancake video getting more views. It reminds the public that you're in there. Like, this could all work out. However, the other part of me, the part of me that references a Sam Cooke song, written in 1964, is like, but I don't want disposable content. I want, a world where there's content that's built to last. So it kind of is a little bit heartbreaking that, everything becomes, the pancake video, which was grandma's pancake recipe, and now it becomes kind of temporary disposable content. I mean, that hits my nostalgic soul in a certain way. And, there's drama there. But, I agree that this model can definitely work out as well. So it's twofold. I'm of two minds about it. I don't know what to do.
I think the thing is, it's like the pancake recipe is one thing, but you can take that $500 million and make a movie, and that movie can last, 30, 40 years. And that could be something that you don't have anybody else telling you about what that movie is. And you can have the whole movie be about your grandmother's pancake recipe. You know what I mean? Where it came from. And you can go back to, the Dominican Republic or wherever. I'm not even sure where Shakira is from, but you can go back to her country and do a story on the country. And, you can make, it doesn't have to be disposable, but it's just, my point was about the value of those things. Like Sam Cooke, I love Sam Cooke, Saturday Night, and you know what I mean, Change Gonna Come, but you couldn't probably name Sam Cooke's song number 36. Now, maybe when Sam Cooke wrote song number 36 in 1965, it was awesome, and it might have been number 75 on the Billboard chart, but nobody cares really now. But if I could know about Sam Cooke's upbringing, I will watch that documentary today. And I did. It's on Netflix. I mean, watch the documentary. It's great. Who killed Sam Cooke? They're still making documentaries on Sam Cooke. So it's like the documentary is going to be worth more than song number 36. So invest in the documentary, sell song number 36.
I totally am with you on this, but it raises the question, artists today, can they, because of how the system is and how the kind of system of stars has broken down, everything's very fractured and fragmented, is it possible to even have a song that anyone's going to care about decades later, because interests are so different and so fractured because everyone's moving in their own direction? That I don't know.
Time will tell. You know what I mean? If it's a great song and it has a place, it will make its way. You know what I mean? And if it doesn't, it might be hot for now and not hot for next year.
I feel
love
that.
it. I love it. Yeah, and it's just a different age, and I think we've seen in the last few years like this shift, and it's a slow shift of looking at catalog as like almost like a piece of like content that is real estate, and therefore the big difference is like you have like disposable content, you have evergreen content, you have music. So the Sam Cooke song that can be redone over and over and over, I don't think like selling the catalog devalues that at all, because it's still, people can do covers of that, and it's just not going back to the artist. So say, okay, so you have this one song that Shakira wrote, and then 10 years down the road, it got stuck into a movie as a cover song, and yeah, she would make some money, and maybe you could make a decent amount on that. But is that nearly, on this, speaking from the business side, is that on a financial side, is that going to be nearly what the value of what she sold the catalog for and could have invested? Or an investment is an investment. There's no guarantees on that, but the potential is possibly more than if she retained her catalog.
Totally.
If you put $10 million, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just going to say, what about Grandma's pancake recipe? I mean, do we really want that to become disposable content?
Grandma's pancake recipe is delicious no matter what year it is. But if you put $10 million in the bank at 0.5% interest, you can live off that. You can't live off Grandma's pancake recipe, but if you put it out, it's worth something. If you keep it in the book, it's worth nothing. You know what I mean? So like everything is worth something in this day and age if people care. And that's the whole thing about it, is if people don't care about you, they don't care about your grandmother's pancake recipe. Trust that. My grandmother made a mean Caesar salad. You know what I mean? And people love to see me online talk about different Karens and reaction videos and stuff. But if I put up a video about my grandmother's Caesar salad, they don't care. But I'm telling you, the anchovies was a big move in my grandmother's Caesar salad, but they don't care. But maybe if, Lil Wayne told you about his grandmother's Caesar salad, you'd be like, wow, I didn't even know that Lil Wayne's grandma made Caesar salad. Like, I would love to watch that video. So it's really about the investment in the artist versus it is the old catalog that's just depreciating, like Peter says, depreciating. So got to respect that.
It's the value might depreciate financially, but the psychological attachment can always appreciate when it comes to music. So I think we're going to leave it on that. Thank you, Dave and Ayesha. We're going to be back in a moment after the break, but that is it for today. If you want to continue the conversation, we're going to be coming back after we roll the credits, and you can also comment in the videos, in the descriptions, comments, whatever the thing is that you type into below and whatever platform you're in. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, all that stuff. You can also sign up for more access at musicindustrycity.com and find us on your preferred podcast player. Thank you again to my co-host, Ayesha and the Duke. Have a great week. Peace.